And reality is where we meet God. Emotions are the language of the soul. They are the cry that gives the heart a voice. However, we often turn a deaf ear through emotional denial, distortion, or disengagement. In neglecting our intense emotions, we are false to ourselves and lose a wonderful opportunity to know God. Here's why. The best picture of our emotions, of our lives, of our souls is a picture of an iceberg. Have you seen this kind of picture of an iceberg where it's 10% above the water? And this is what happens with icebergs. 10% are above the water and 90% are underneath. 90%, and that's a picture of your soul. That is a great representation because so many times we make changes to the 10% and people are like, oh, hey, you dropped a few pounds, way to go. Or they're like, oh, you held open the door for someone, way to go. But they don't see the 90% of stuff that's happening. And if we're really honest, there are deep layers beneath our surface and our day-to-day awareness. Even though we're doing quote unquote good, I'm fine carrying all this baggage by myself or ignoring all of the baggage. We haven't addressed what's really going on at the surface. And it's like selfies, right? We take selfies all the time. We got to take a picture of everything. I was at this great place having lunch yesterday, working on a few things for church, and this couple sits down, and she took like 17 pictures of first her food, and then her plate, and then her drink next to her plate, and she told her, I don't know if it was boyfriend, husband, man, whoever, like, move out of the way, you're in the shot. And he's like, just eat your food. And then they got into this huge fight. And finally I was like, just eat your food. Let me eat your food. If you don't eat your food, I'll eat food. It looks great. Like it's going cold, like enough pictures. But we take so many of these pictures because we want to show the 10% of us that's all together, right? We don't see the person who just took like the perfect picture of their kid. And then a minute later, they're like, what are you doing? Pick up your toys. Like we don't show the 90% on selfies. Here's why emotional health is so important. It is the ability to recognize, honor, and employ your emotions in constructive ways. Here's why. Feelings are like the lights on a dashboard. When I was 18 years old, I bought a 1966 Ford Mustang. I needed a practical car. And I got an old classic that had rust and was falling apart. But man, it was so cool driving that car. The day my dad and I went and picked it up, it was a straight six, so it wasn't a 289. I dream about having a 1966 cherry red fastback 289. But it was a straight six and it had a clutch. And if you've never like pushed down a clutch in a 1966, like you need like Hulk thighs. Like after driving that car for a year, my right thigh was so abnormally large. Like I just had to it was so large, but I could push down that clutch like it was nothing. So we went and picked it up, got that car. I couldn't wait. So many great conversations that happened. But one day driving down this busy road called Telegraph, like 54, my wiring harness behind my dashboard went out. Everything went up in smoke. Car comes to a screeching stop, 27-foot car, all metal, and nobody got out to help me. I'm pushing this car. I heard every amazing way to intricately involve every single swear word. Like it was almost beautiful at one point. I was like, oh, I've never heard of that one. But I was trying to get that out of the way. And here's the thing. My dashboard of my 66 Mustang looked like this. Go back to the other picture. That was really fun. That's actually my 66 Mustang. Did you already show that? You probably showed that. Anyways, go to the dashboard. I'm sorry, I'm all over the mess now. But this was my dashboard. Look how simple that is. Fuel, oil. That's what we think our dashboard looks like. Even those of us who are like, I don't have feelings. I don't need feelings. I don't want feelings. That's what we think our, wow, you carried that pretty easy. Huh. Took me a little bit tougher for me. In reality, what our feelings dashboard looks like is this. The Knight Rider dashboard. You remember the Knight Rider, right? Oh, who forgets about the Knight Rider? Those of us under 25, we don't have it, but Google Hasselhoff. No, don't Google Hasselhoff. I don't know what will come up. But this is what a good representation of our feelings and our emotions. And here's the thing, like hidden hurts are emotional poison. And if there's baggage that you're not dealing with, that you're just shoving down, you got stuff going off on your dashboard all the time, and you will go up in smoke like mine did. Psalms 32, 3-4, the message says, when I kept hurt all inside, my bones turned to powder. My words became day-long groans. The pressure never let up. All the juices of my life dried up. A lack of emotional health has a building effect, and the baggage will just hold you back. Here's what I think we need to understand and do. God's healing is deeper than your emotions and your feelings. God's healing is deeper than your emotions and your feelings. Just because you felt it right then does not mean that it's right. Run it through a filter to see if it's right. Because what happens is we start to go into this cave. And the baggage, the unhealthy feelings, the insomnia, the carrying around the hurt and the pain and the bitterness and the pride and the unforgiveness and God's healing is deeper than that. And it's like we just keep going deeper and deeper into this cave. And we don't even remember people asking us if we're okay anymore. We just know that we're deep in this cave because we haven't dealt with the 90%. Well, in the Old Testament, there's this prophet by the name of Elijah. And he teaches a little bit about what to do with our emotions and our feelings, especially when they start to go way off course and they start to turn into discouragement and depression. And what you need to know about Elijah in the Old Testament is that his name actually means the Lord is my God. Imagine if your name meant that. My name, Jason, means a really good looking one. That's what it means. Just kidding. It means healer. It means healer. I love that. That's what my name means. Because all these years I've tried to hopefully bring healing through words and my life. But Elijah's name is the Lord is my God. He was a prophet. And a prophet, what that meant is he went into a town and he shared the good and the bad of what God wanted them to share. He shared it adamantly and he gave warnings and he heard God and he walked in obedience. And God asked him to share hard truths and he did. And in 1 Kings 19 in the Old Testament, it says this about Elijah's life. Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah had done and how he had killed all the prophets with the sword. Let me just stop there for a second. Ahab was an evil king. Scripture actually says he was the 19th consecutive evil king. I mean, imagine that. That's a lot of evil. And not only was he the 19th, he was the king of all of that evil. And towards the end of his life, he was kind of a wuss. So he turns to his wife Jezebel and he says, deal with this situation. And so 1 Kings 19:2 says, then Jezebel sent a messenger to Elijah saying, so may the gods do to me and more. Wow, you're going to help me too. Wow, 2 bags at once. Jeez. So may the gods do to me and more also, if I do not make your life as the life of one of them by this time tomorrow. And what she's saying is one of them means dead. Like one of them who are not with us anymore. And so 1 Kings 19:3 says, then he was afraid and he rose and he ran for his life and came to Beersheba, which belongs to Judah, and left his servant there. This is